Just a quick one before we dive in. I've just opened up 2 brand new ways to work with me. If you're an established beauty professional who's ready to increase your revenue, either in your clinic or by moving into the online mentoring and educational space, you can join me for a 2-month container where we build and validate your first online offer or your next big move. Or if you're ready to go all in, there is a 7-month private mentorship where we build, launch and scale your new revenue stream together. If you're not sure which one's right for you, I'm offering a handful of free business clarity calls, quick and powerful to map out your fastest path and to see which container fits best. Just DM me the word revenue on Instagram or check the link in the show notes and email me. Let's get into the episode.
Welcome to the Beauty Build podcast with me, Zara King. As a coach for beauty pros, it is my mission to help you earn more, work less, and create an unstoppable mindset. This is the show where we explore all of that. So whether you're a seasoned pro or just starting your beauty business, this podcast is for you. So sit back, relax, and join us on the journey. And for more, get yourself inside my private community, The Beauty Build on Facebook. Hello, you beautiful human you, and welcome back to another episode. If you don't know me and you're just stumbling across this podcast, welcome. My name is Zara King. I have been a beauty therapist for 12 years and I am a coach for self-employed beauty pros. If you like this episode, once you get about halfway through or, near the end, please take a screenshot. Pop it on your stories, on your socials, and tag me because I love to see who's listening. I love to see who's new to my world. All of my tags are in the description below, and I really love to get your thoughts on what you're hearing, what you want to hear, and just to, improve this podcast and give you what you really need. So have a look at the description as well if you are new here. Today, what I want to talk about is actually earning what you desire in your beauty business. And just to put this into perspective, for the type of people that I help, it's usually self-employed beauty pros who are working from home, from a spare room that they've converted into a beauty room, or from an attachment on the house or in the cabin kind of thing in the garden, or maybe they're renting a space in any other kind of building, even salons, but they're still self-employed, or maybe they're mobile. Those are the type of people that I help. So I really want to talk to that type of person about earning what you desire and how you can increase the revenue in your beauty business, because a lot of people, unfortunately, they do this as a hobby, and they then make the other people that are doing this solo on their own feel like they can't earn what they desire, because other people in this industry, like I say, they do it without running it like a proper business, and it has an impact on the actual industry itself, and it has an impact on the beauty therapists that I come across and that I coach. And I always want to lift up the whole industry and let people know that they can earn literally what they want to. You can earn whatever you desire in this industry. It is a serious career path. You have to make that known. You have to build up a know, like, and trust with your audience and with your ideal clients. And you have to put yourself out there and differentiate yourself from the rest of the people that are out there doing this sort of like as a hobby or something on the side, and don't rely on the income as such. So that's the aim of the game today. This is the type of thing I want to talk about. I've got a few different points to go through because I think they're super important when it comes to thinking about how to increase the revenue in your beauty business. So there's about 4 points, and the first one is setting goals financially for what you want to earn. Right. So in this sort of scenario, if you are on your own, working from home, for example, and you do things like maybe you do nails, maybe you do lashes, maybe you do a bit of everything, or maybe you're just, doing one sort of service, or maybe, whatever it is, I think it's super important to remember that you can still set serious financial goals for the year, for the quarter, for the month, and break it all the way down into the hourly rate that you want to earn for yourself as a person. Because too many times I see beauty pros that are charging things that, a price that will just cover the cost and then a little bit extra for them, and that's how they're running this type of business. That isn't really what goes into it. There are other episodes on here about pricing, but you really need to get into the nitty gritty. Okay, so listen to those episodes, get yourself inside the private community on Facebook if you want to ask any questions about on pricing. But the whole point of this episode is to talk about, just these points on how to increase the revenue and earn what you want. The first step of that is to set the goal, right? What do you want to earn? So think about your lifestyle. Think about how much you need to earn to live the life that you live. Think about that. Write it down. Get a notepad and pen. Think about everything you need to earn as just for a living, right? And then add some onto that and set yourself some goals and make sure that you're setting smart goals. If it comes to, I want to earn X amount, well, when do you want to earn that by, right? It needs to be a smart goal. So when I say smart, I mean specific. So it needs to be, in the actual monetary value. It needs to be super specific. It needs to be measurable so that you can actually keep track of it and have a look at where you're at and where you need to be, and then make action steps to get there. And they need to be specific. So it might be that you want to increase your revenue by 20% every month for, whatever. They also need to be achievable. So you can't look at your goals and be too scared to try and do it and to think that they're unrealistic. You need to realise and you need to know and have full clarity and certainty that they are achievable for you. Don't go setting yourself goals that you don't believe in, okay, because you're not going to achieve them. And then make sure that they're relevant and make sure that they're timely. And by timely, I mean that you have a timestamp on them as to when you want to hit that goal. The reason for that is because you will hit it more likely if you do set it in that way, in a smart way. So that is how you need to be setting these financial goals. And it might be that you want to earn £1,000 a week. It might be that you want to earn £2,000 a week. It might be that you only want to earn £1,000 a month. It might be that you run your beauty business alongside another full-time job or part-time job, and you only want to take less. That's absolutely fine. Figure out how many hours in the month you see clients and how many hours in the month you can actually bring in that revenue. Break it all down and have a real think about where is that going to come from, okay? And then track it and keep on track of it, and what you focus on will grow. So that is the first step to achieving, what you want in monetary value, in earning what you desire. That is the first step that I think you should sit down and seriously spend some time on. Don't just think, I want to earn, $5,000 a month. This is it. Seriously break it down. Look at your service costs, look at everything, look at why you want to earn that, look at what that's going to do for you in the business, look at where you're putting the money. Is that for your lifestyle and the bills? And then are you putting some away to put back into the business? Have a real look at it and break it all down. The second thing that I think is super important is, and the bit that you probably want to jump to if you're looking at this episode because of the title, is the strategies to increasing your revenue, right? Have a think. Get your notepad and pen out and write down some strategies as to how you're going to increase your revenue. Obviously, you're a beauty business owner, so you do an array of services, or you do a few services in the same kind of boat. Maybe it's lashes, maybe it's nails, but you've got a few services. Maybe you're an esthetician and you do a few different injectables. I don't know what you do, but you do. So write down everything you do from your services, because most of your profit in your beauty business is going to come from your services. Most people have about 5% of profit that comes from retail. But people have more than that. Some of the clients that I coach have up to 50% in the month. Some months it's coming from retail, and you think, blimey, you are a retail queen. So think about that. So you've got your services and you've got retail. What can you cross-sell? How can you cross-sell to your clients? How can you upsell to your clients? How can you lead with all of the things that they need and that they want to solve some sort of problem or pain point that they have? What can you incorporate on your menu to be able to increase your revenue and serve your ideal clients in the best possible way when it comes to giving them the solutions that they want? Write down things like packages. What could you package together that's already on your menu so it doesn't, cost you an arm and a leg to actually go into? But how could you increase revenue that way and make things look more appealing for your clients? How can you market the business to look more appealing to the clients? How can you do those kind of packages, and almost like packages where things are paid for up front, so then it actually increases loyalty and retention and also profit at the same time? Could you do things like charge for consultations and transformations and advice and things like that? Do you have the expertise to be able to take on people on a Zoom consultation, for example, so you don't need to go out of your way to see people, but you can give them advice over a consultation online? It doesn't even need to be on Zoom. It could be on an Instagram video call if you really like, or in a Facebook Messenger video call. There are so many different ways that you can increase your revenue. So write down all the strategies that you think would help you and your business, and it will obviously need to be relevant to your business and what you offer when it comes to services and everything. But what can you do? Could you do digital resources for your clients? Is there something that you have inside your brain that could be put onto paper that you could charge for? That's another way, especially in this day and age. And I see people talking about it all the time at the moment, kind of this recurring revenue type of thing where people want to be able to do something once and then sell it over and over again, a bit like things like online courses. Is that something you could do to increase your revenue? Do you have, a long-term goal to go into teaching? Is that something that you want to work towards to increase your revenue? There are so many different ways. Is it that you want to take somebody else on? I remember when I was home-based and there was an opportunity for somebody to come into my space and work with me on a commission basis. Did I want to do that at the time? Do you want to do that? Is it something that you could possibly do? Share your space and, actually earn some more money? Because if you think about all of these things, like, it's such a good way to increase revenue and see more clients and build more reputation for yourself as a small business owner and earn some money from it as well. And it's well worth looking into if that's something you want to do. So that's the second thing. Have a brainstorm, get something down on paper and think about the strategies that you could use to increase the revenue in your beauty business. The third thing, of course, and you can do this straight away, and I'm sure you probably could literally do this as soon as you have finished listening to this podcast, up your prices. There are times in life where you just need to up your prices. Is it that you are at full capacity and you're like, oh my blinking goodness, I can't take on any more clients, they're gonna have to go on a wait list, I need to, I'm up to the brim, I'm full. So if that's the case, up your prices so that you're earning the same money pretty much, but you can take, a couple off and, maybe they drop off and you can have a little break. That's a good thing. People get scared to up their prices because they think they're going to get people drop off. But at the end of the day, if you're up to the brim and people drop off, isn't that a great thing? Because you either earn the same and work a little bit less, or you can work exactly the same hours and earn more, right? And always remember that when you up your prices, there will always be a client that comes in and fills a spot where somebody drops off. Always. There is always enough clients to go around at every price point in this world. Trust me. Maybe as well, you need to up your prices because you haven't upped your prices since you completed some sort of new training that you did like last year. And you still haven't upped your prices because you've been too scared to, because you don't want to lose clients and you're worried about it. But you really should, because your expertise has developed, your business has grown, and you are more skilled and you offer more whatever it is, and you need to up your prices because you deserve to give yourself a pay rise. That's another reason. Or maybe, of course, you haven't looked at your cost properly and you maybe not even making enough profit in your business, and you just need to up your prices to get into a really decent, healthy profit, and you haven't upped them for a while and you haven't looked at your costs. Maybe costs have risen. I would highly recommend and encourage you to sit down and look at your costs and all of your overheads and all of your product costs and make sure everything is down to a T as per the time it takes you to perform each service, so that every single service on your menu is earning you a decent profit. So you could do that straight away and you can start earning more money in your beauty business. So sit down and have a real think about that. And the last thing that I really think is important for you to think about is, again, sit down with the notepad and pen. How can I increase client retention? Because most people, when they want to increase the revenue in their business, they think about new clients. And actually, sometimes it is just not the case that you need new clients. Sometimes it's the case that you just don't keep in touch properly. Right. And that might be, a hard truth for some of you to hear, but it might be people that have come to you once, or there might be people that have come to you 2 or 3 times and then not come back. And there will be a reason that they've not come back. It could have been life circumstances at that time meant that they needed to, not come back and not book in. But then it could just be that they forgot and then life got in the way. You should never take things personally when a client drops off and you don't really know why or where they've gone or what they've been up to. The thing that's in your control and the thing that you should be targeting yourself on doing is actually keeping in touch with every single client that comes through your doors and really focusing on client retention. Client retention is one of the biggest things in any business, especially service-based businesses. Client retention is one of the biggest things that can affect your profit and your success. So have a look. If you hopefully you've got a booking system. If you don't, I think you should get one. So if you don't, look in the description, there is some details of booking system in there. I think have a look back, see who's not been to you in, say, 6 months' time. Send them an email, and get in touch with people that haven't been back for a while, even if it's 3 months. It depends on the services that you do, to be honest, because some things you don't need to see people, until maybe 3 months or 6 months later, but some things you need to see people every 2-3 weeks. So it depends on the services that you offer, but make sure you're looking at your client retention rates, whether or not you have a booking system. If you don't have a booking system, I hate to break it to you, but you're going to have to do this manually because it's so important. It is one of the most important things in your beauty business. So have a little look back and look at that. It's so important. And I mean, also just on that topic as well, a lot of the times people you might ask, how do I do that? How do I get in touch, or how do I increase client retention to increase my revenue and to earn more money? And the thing is, if you focus on the whole client relationship and the client journey, there should be some sort of strategy that you have in place for loyalty. So you need to think about things when it comes to, do you have a loyalty program? Again, notepad and pen, write this down. What kind of strategies could you use to have in your business that would reward loyalty and keep people coming back, but not affect your bottom line so much, right? You always have to make sure you're in profit. So that's why it's really important to know your costings as well, like I mentioned in the last point. So what kind of strategies can you use to increase loyalty? How can you make it fun and enticing? Not just one of those cards where you give them a stamp or tick and you do whatever and they come back every appointment, and then on the 5th one or the 10th one they get money off. No, because at that point you're just eating into your profit for no reason. How can you make it fun for them? How can you make it enticing and appealing because of a solution that you have that they need, because of a pain point that they have, and you make it more fun for them to just need you? They need you. How can you make them need you? That is what you need to ask yourself. Write it down on a bit of paper and brainstorm it. And also, how can you incorporate things like a referral program? When I did a refer a friend program in my business, it was the one thing that got me fully booked, increased my revenue by about 210% in a month, and it literally kept me fully booked with a wait list forever. And every time I needed to use it, I went hard and I incentivized the person to refer a friend to me really, really, I'd say aggressively, if you know what I mean. It was so enticing. And so they wanted to give me their friends and give me people all the time, because they would get more of an incentive to do so. So think about it. How could you make things more appealing for people to, spread the word? The people that have been to you a couple of times, maybe you've got a couple of people that you absolutely adore. Maybe you'd love an ideal client just like them. Tell them that. Say to them, hey, Mary, I absolutely love our time together. I seriously enjoy you coming in. And I'd love it if you knew anyone that was sort of similar to yourself that would just love my services as well. Is there anyone that you know? Get into that type of conversation, see what comes of it, and incentivize them to do so, to actually spread the word, and incentivize them however which way you want, but always think about the fact that you can't not really be making a profit on things. You can't be cutting off your nose to spite your face, but you do want to incentivize them as much as you possibly can. And maybe that's that they get money off, maybe they get an added on luxury, maybe they get a free piece of retail or an offer on that. Just think outside the box and make it fun and make them want to do you that favor, because at the end of the day, let's be honest, they don't need to do you that favor at all. It's not their business to run, and it's not down to them to spread the word about it. So take the opportunities that come to you, utilize the people that you already know that have already tried your services and absolutely love your services, and incentivize them to actually spread the word. You will kick yourself if you don't do that, because you're leaving money on the table, trust me. And just think about it. The other good thing as well, which has just popped into my brain, is the fact that when you are thinking about the client journey, right, the keeping in touch process, how can you do that? And you're brainstorming and all of these ideas. Also ask yourself, how can I utilize client feedback to increase loyalty and to increase the retention? Because this is just a trick. It's just an extra little thing here that I thought of, because I tell my coaching clients all the time to get feedback from their clients so that they can future-proof their business and pivot the business with their clients. That is one thing, just a little added on. It's not really about all the revenue and stuff, but it is about client retention. And when you have a way of taking feedback from your clients and a way of filtering that through into what you do in your business and to kind of move with what they want and to deliver, they'll stay with you for longer. And that's just true for all of the coaching clients that I have. And it's also really refreshing for the clients because not many self-employed beauty business owners are actually doing this. They don't do that because they think, well, I'm not a big salon, I don't need to have feedback cards and all the rest of it. Well, let me tell you, yes, you do. And the beauty of it is that these days everything can be done for free online at the click of a button. So research that as well. Sit down with your notepad and pen and do all of the bits I talked about today, and you will earn what you desire. You can set that goal, you can make it smart, and then you can look at all these points that I've talked about and strategize, because I've given you like 3 really good points there. I've said about the strategies to increase your revenue, which include things like your services, your retail, your packages, even digital resources and doing things online. I've talked about upping your prices and when you could up your prices. And, I've even talked about getting someone in with you. And I've talked about client retention. So there's a lot of things there for you to have a brainstorm on and think about, how can I get people spending more with me? How can I increase my revenue? How can I actually earn what I desire? And I tell you what, you will do it. So go for it. I encourage you to sit down with that notepad and pen and get going with it. And yeah, I hope you love this episode. As I said, take a screenshot. Please tag me on your stories. I want to see who's listening. And yeah, thank you so much for tuning in. I'll see you on the next one. Thank you so much for tuning in. I hope you enjoyed today's episode and gained valuable insights that will help you in your beauty business and life. If you did, please take a screenshot and tag me in your stories. If you've got any questions or comments, please feel free to reach out to me on any of my socials. The links are always in the descriptions. And don't forget to subscribe to the podcast and leave us a review. Your feedback helps us improve and bring you more and more great content. Until next time, keep building that business.